What's happening, guys? Joey Antonelli here again with another diving video for you. This time I'm with Ariane and Scott, who you will recognize from my recent Bahama trips, and my buddy Casey. He took us out on his boat out of Sebastian Inlet, and we're diving in about 100 foot of water. And what happens every summer is we get a upwelling, where it's this real cold water that pushes in the middle of summertime. And we have this cold green water on the bottom and clear blue water up top. And most of these fish are hanging out right above that cold water. So even though we're hanging out in about 100 foot of water, these fish, you really only have to go down 50, 60, or 70 feet or so to really be where most of these fish are hanging out. So we'll do that. We'll also do a sticker giveaway for you. Comment below which design you'd like. You can see all the designs at h2ovinyldesigns.com. And pick one out, comment below, I'll pick a winner and announce it in the description of the next video. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and also follow on Instagram at h2ovinyldesigns. That way you can see all some cool little previews and stuff before they hit the YouTube. Let's go diving. So with the first couple drops that we were doing, we were really just kind of checking out the water, seeing what was around. And right away we had big schools of amberjack coming up to us, and we could also see some nice sized mangrove snapper mixed in there. We knew we wanted to take a couple AJs home, and while they were around, even though they'd probably be around the whole day, we decided to pick out a couple of them. And Scott dropped down on a good one, about 30 pounds or 35 pounds or so, and lined up on it, took the shot, and thought he rolled it at first, but it kind of stayed alive and fought him hard. He definitely had a good holding shot on it, but these fish just fight really hard. So I was going to put a second shot in it and just make it a lot faster, get it in the boat, and kind of regroup. But after asking him, he said he had it under control, and I decided to pick off the AJ that was kind of sticking with his, because as he pulled his in, there was another one following it, which is pretty common when you're shooting these fish.
You care if I just pop that other one? The line has an old shark. Right. Do you see all the snapper that came up on these? You guys got it? You got it?
We did a couple drops down to where we could see the bottom, and you can see this ledge here. It's a vertical wall. It's about a 20-foot tall vertical wall, and these ledges are just crazy big. We saw some snapper down there, but there was really more fish hanging up in the mid-water column right above that cold water. As I drifted down on this drop, I saw a mangrove and then another one and another one, and it ended up being just like one of the biggest schools of giant mangroves that I've ever seen. I was patient and just moved really slow, and they came right to me, and one gave me a really good shot on him, and he was definitely one of the bigger fish in the school too. After weighing him, he was right over 12 pounds. I think he was actually 12.7 pounds when I put him on the scale.
sort everything out. Thank you.
So instead of taking that last mangrove off my spear, reloading the gun, and spending some time, I just handed it to Casey and Ariane in the boat and grabbed one of the other guns we had laying in the boat and swam on down there, thinking I was going to find that big school of mangroves. And I did see a couple mangroves like that one right there, but as I just kind of drifted down and hung around 50 or 60 foot or so, had a nice little surprise. This mutton snapper was real curious, swam straight in and turned broadside, giving me a real good clean shot on him. The mangroves have a lot tougher skin than these muttons, so these muttons you really got to get headshots or really solid body shots on them. If you hit them really anywhere below the lateral line, it'll tear out a lot of the time. And this one I got a good headshot on and he wasn't going anywhere. He was right at 20 inches. As you do this, the fish tend to get a little smarter and smarter, and it's tougher to get closer to them. There's some giant muttons down there, big red snapper, big mangroves. That's a big mutton that I just couldn't get close enough to take a shot on. So Ariane's been diving with us for a few times now, spearing, and it's all been in the Bahamas though, so no spear guns. This is her first time using the spear gun, and we basically just told her the way to use it is just point and shoot. She swam down into the school of AJ's, picked out one of the bigger ones, and took a shot on it, and she didn't roll it, but it was a nice holding shot that really wounded the fish, and she was able to pull it up without really giving it any line off the reel and having to do any big fighting on it.
Here's the gun if he gets away. Grab the gun. Dude, I saw the biggest mutton.
So this drop, we were going down real slow again, looking for the snapper, passing up on the AJs, and I started following Scott, more just filming him. Saw some big muttons on the way down, and I could see Scott lining up on something. I couldn't really tell what it was, but I figured it was one of the bigger snapper. And I'm just staying real still following him, and then all of a sudden I heard his gun go off, and he started pulling on the fish so it wouldn't get him in the rocks, and he was the one that ended up getting one of the big muttons.
Hang on. Nice one.
After we shot a few fish, a bull shark showed up that had a nice sized cobia on it, and I was in the water by myself when it first showed up, and I saw that it had a nice cobia. I called Scott over. He came in once he was done dealing with his mutton, and I couldn't get close enough, but then came by again and Scott was able to get close enough, put a nice solid shot in the fish. I swam down, put a second shot in the fish, and we made pretty quick work of about a 35-pound cobia. The snapper kind of regrouped, and this one let me get a little too close and gave me a real good broadside shot again. So it was a nice shot on him, got him in, and it's another really good size fish, probably right around the 9 or 10 pound range.
Giants! I'll throw them in, just grab this for a sec. Got it. We're gonna take this one too. Get on that redrift.
Riding in. Mine. Puppies. Look at them. Quick little dive for the day. Thing's giant. I'm gonna get a weight on that one. Dexter.
Dexter. Is that what he said?
That's how you start.
He's got an octopus in him.
Does, right?
Yeah, it's an octopus. Another octopus inside a cobia, like a 2-pound octopus almost. No, not 2 pounds. Solid.
Squid.
No, it's an octopus. Look at those little suckers. Calamari.
When you were cleaning, oh nice.